Hi, Carly. It's Ian and Carly, and we are ready for our March sales report. Let's start right away off the top with Carly. How do you describe the market right now? What's one word for you to describe the market?
Ah, fast.
Fast. It's like the
Yeah,
movie Fast and Furious, isn't it?
right. You only gave me one word, so yeah, no,
Oh
it's
yeah, sorry. Yeah. Well, it is
so
fast, and
it
and
is.
multiple offers, right?
Yeah, totally. Something comes and there's a line of people who know what they want. So yeah, it's exciting right now.
But it's funny. I did the sales report, and that's also in the newsletter as well. And the number of listings we have is actually on par with a 5-year average. But it doesn't
Oh,
feel that way,
great.
does it? It doesn't feel that way when you're out. Like it doesn't take long. I've seen both houses for sale. There are three.
Yeah. Yeah, and I
Um,
think that's probably why it feels fast because,
yeah.
there is low inventory, so you feel like there's this little bit of urgency, right, when you find something you like.
hmm hmm Unless it needs renovating, which brings us to our topic today, doesn't it? We
Totally.
had at our sales meeting a couple of weeks ago, we had a fellow named Jeff Baim. His company is called Baim Construction, and he was talking about the costs that are associated with putting in a suite. And I'm just going to share my slide because Carly, this is a question we get all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, because people can make up in their mind what they think the renovation is going to cost. And it's nice to kind of have a point of reference for today's costs of what a renovation would cost you if you were to hire somebody to do it. So they did a great presentation.
So, I'll just start at the top here. Current cost of new home construction, $300 a square foot. And I was talking with someone this morning. This certainly highlights why you can't have a new house for under $1 million, really, at the end of the day. I think the least expensive one we have right now in the market's 925 or something. By the time you put all the taxes in, you're at
Mhm.
$1 million, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, that's hardy plank siding. That now we're talking upgrades. 300 would be your basic. If you want to go up to hardy plank and quartz countertops, you're hitting $350 in a hurry. So
Mhm.
that's a lot.
It is a lot. Full gut reno, super tough to say, but has to be $150 a square foot. I guess that's for demo costs.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so much involved with it, and the costs are high. We were just at a house looking at it and had a builder there, and the time you go through windows and when you're doing a full rental, of course, one of the things that came up was asbestos, right? That your
Yeah.
older homes probably got asbestos in it, and that's easily 30 to $45,000 just asbestos alone. So that's something to think about, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Um,
you talked about roofing costs being wildly different, which I thought was interesting. Sometimes you think, well, the roof is everybody's going to be the same, but he said that it varies quite a bit.
yeah, and so it's good to know, and depending on what type of services you're contracting, when is it a good time to get a few quotes? Because sometimes you'll get quotes and they're all the same, right?
Hmm
Whereas it sounds like roofing costs in this town, you you might benefit from getting a few quotes because they can be quite different. So
Yeah, and you want to make sure whoever you're getting for sure on your property is, has the workers' compensation uh,
yeah,
coverage because, if someone's in an accident, falls off your roof, and they don't have the coverage, it's a big deal, right? It's a huge deal. So you want to make sure you have that.
licensed, yeah.
Typical decks, 25 to $30,000. Um, Carly, a bathroom reno, 20 to $30,000 here.
All day long, 20 to 30K, right?
It's
By the
amazing
time
how
you
fast that
oh
goes through.
yeah, right. By
You
the
know.
time you take it out or put it back in and pick all the
Mhm.
fancy finishes because if you're going to spend the money, you want it to look new, right? So it's, yeah, going to
And that's
cost
how
a
that
bit.
kitchen gets up there. Typical kitchen, 60,000. Here we go, 15 to 30 just for the cabinets. 8 to 12,000 for quartz counters, and all the other stuff makes up the rest. Boy, plumbing, if you can move plumbing in.
Backsplashes,
Yeah.
appliances. Oh, I could go on and on. I love decorating the kitchen.
Have you done that and gone over budget?
Okay, I did that once, and then every time I have a contractor in my house afterwards, I'm like, just give me the truth. Tell me, rip the band-aid off. I'm like, I don't want a double bill.
I love it. Rip the Band-Aid off. Okay, here's a good one. Adding a legal suite to an existing house. This number has gone up, right? By the way, legal
Yeah.
suite's the only kind you want to add. Yeah, in 2024, you have to do it legal. There's just no other way around it. But, 75,000 up to 100,000, depending on the scope. That's a big number.
Yeah. And this really adds resale value right now, though, it seems as though, because people need that mortgage helper, right? Or they're multi-generational families and they're buying together. And so they want designated separate spaces. And so it does seem to be worth it.
Yeah, and of course you can do a mortgage plus improvements to do that too. And we can talk about that. If that's something you're into, we got some great brokers that can help you with that. Carriage house with no garage, 325. And his note, Jeff's note is suite maximum 968 square feet. So there's maximums you can do for carriage houses, etc. But that's 3.25. 20 by 30 shop. Everybody wants a shop. We get lots of questions about that.
150 to 200.
I mentioned that on the weekend. Everyone's like, they almost drop over. Like, what? But if you think about it, especially if you want plumbing in there,
you're going to run electricity and you got to have a separate panel. Yeah.
He talked about step codes that are mandatory across BC. Step code 4 is coming, which just means more and more requirements, which only adds to the cost of the construction, right? Making your house, more energy efficient, like that. I thought his quote here was pretty good. Why don't you go over this one about natural gas in new construction?
Oh, Nanaimo did not recently ban natural gas on new construction. They adopted an aggressive version, zero carbon, effective July the 1st, 2024 on the BC Energy Carbon Code, which makes modeling a new home with gas as a primary heat source more difficult, but gas can still be used for cooking and other uses. Also, once we reach step 4, which is soon at a moot point, because at step 4, it's basically impossible to have a gas primary heat. And even meeting the current step 3, it is difficult. Oh, interesting.
You still have gas hot water, still have a gas fireplace, just not a gas furnace.
Right.
What we're talking about. One of the items you mentioned, rumors about housing corner lots now have a carriage house plus suite. Expected date on this, I say rumor, it's not the rules. There are so many changes with the provincial government and rules. We can probably go over those on another video. But this was a good point too, this last paragraph, Carly. Why don't you go over that about, even though the provincial government's changing rules, the local rules you still have to follow still apply, right?
Recent provincial government legislation changes to all single-family zones to allow multi-unit housing up to 6plex. This eliminates one part of the development process, the rezoning. This does not eliminate the development permit process, building permit process, site services, engineering. Yeah, because we have all sorts of services that have to be able to run to the new zoning requirements, right? So,
yeah, so all those things are still there. It doesn't mean you just run up and start building.
Right.
Yeah.
Here, let's go. No, there's a whole rigmarole that you gotta.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do that, and we'll do that next month, maybe with another video of just what you can do.
Yeah,
under the new rules that are coming.
And that's the thing, planning. It takes a lot of planning, and that's really what I liked. What BAME Construction Jeff had to say was that a lot of their process, it is a little bit. They focus on the planning so that you know what's involved and the costs that go along with it. And so I thought that was a good emphasis that he put on it, because nobody wants to start a project and then realize that there's more to it than they first anticipated. So yeah, it was great.
Easy when you're renovating a house. It's so easy to do. We built a house, and I used to go and see the builder on site, and every time I went there, I spent more money because he'd say, "Oh, we could do this and we could do that." And finally, Carol said, "Don't go anymore. Stop."
More ideas, yeah.
No more ideas. Anyways, so if you want a copy of that, let us know. Send us an email. We're happy to send that over to you. And other than that, Carly, we better get back to it. It's a busy month.
You betcha. Thanks.